Hi guys. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to make is, some people call it dirty diapers, but you use sausage of your liking. I use the Tennessee Pride Mild, and then crescent rolls and cream cheese, but I'm actually going to half my sausage and do like some sausage balls, but I don't necessarily roll them into balls. I just kind of dab them out on the pan. And so I'm going to use part of the sausage and probably half of the cream cheese, and then I'll roll those in crescent rolls, and I'll show you guys what those look like once those are done. Okay, so here is the other part that I'm going to use my sausage for. So I'm using half of my sausage to make similar to sausage balls. I don't really take the time to roll them out. I just spoon them out and put them on the baking sheet and let them bake. And then I use sharp cheddar and mild cheddar. Also, I like to add pimento cheese. It gives it a little bit better flavor. Doesn't really make it really spicy, but you can tell that there's a little bit different. And of course, Bisquick. So I'll be adding the Bisquick in with that. It's totally up to you whether you cook your sausage or you don't. I personally like to cook mine, and sometimes I don't cook it all the way done, but I do go ahead and cook it, and then I mix it with my mild and sharp cheddar and my pimento cheese. So some people don't do that, and that's okay. It's totally preference as to what you like. So I'm actually cutting this down, so it's not going to be a full recipe of like the sausage balls. Now you can not cook your sausage, and you can just roll your balls out to sausage balls, but I prefer to just go ahead and cook my sausage and then spoon them out on the thing. So once we get done, I will show you what they look like, or show you the process. Okay, so we are in the process of making sausage balls, and also dirty diapers, as we call them, wrapped in crescent rolls. And so now I'm just kind of chopping up my sausage so it'll cook faster, and it beats having to use a spoon. Love my little chopper. It is Pampered Chef, and it is amazing. I don't own a whole lot of Pampered Chef items, but what I do own, I really like. And if we are in need of Pampered Chef products, we use Marsha Arwood. She has always been able to get us whatever we need, and pretty speedy at that. So yeah, so right now I'm chopping up my sausage and getting it ready to cook. So I have my oven set at 375 because the crescent rolls cook at about 375 for approximately 10 to 15 minutes. And so that's how long you will bake the sausage and the cream cheese and the crescent rolls. Now the sausage balls is a different story. I think the temperature has to raise up to 450. So I'm going to be cooking those separate, but I'm going to start with the lower temp first. Okay, so right now I have measured out close to 2 cups of Bisquick, which I think is going to be plenty since I'm halving my sausage. Most of the time I make one or the other, but tonight I thought I would do a couple of different things. Couldn't decide which one I wanted, so yeah, we've got the Bisquick in there. Let me get a spoon. Stir in some milk. I think typically people, whenever they don't cook their sausage, don't necessarily add milk in to their Bisquick, but I do. So I'm just going to add enough milk in here to kind of make it a little doughy. And then I actually won't add my cheese in until I put my sausage in here with it. And once I put my sausage in with it, then I'll start adding my cheese and my pimento cheese. And the pimento cheese just really makes it good. Ryan actually thought that he probably wouldn't like it the first time I made it, and he said that it actually gave it a little bit different flavor, and he did like it. So So now I'm just mixing this up. Can't really do a whole lot with my crescent rolls and cream cheese until my sausage gets finished. So my sausage is frying in the skillet, and I'm just getting this mixed up and ready so when my sausage is done, I can add it to it.
Here is the consistency that she's getting ready to add her other ingredients to this. As you can see, it's like a wet dough.
Hi guys. So I think I about got my sausage chopped up as fine as I like it. And once it gets fried, there's really not a whole lot to do other than just assembling your stuff. So it's really a quick little meal. Great for parties, appetizers, and for us, Ryan likes to have it for supper, and then he'll have leftovers for breakfast, and he will also take some for lunch. So yeah, so stay tuned. Are you videoing me?
I am.
Why? Okay guys, so he's videoing me because I'm real finicky about my hamburger meat and my sausage. Anybody, well, most people that know me know I don't need a whole lot of meat. And so these little fatty pieces, it's in the sausage. Of course you can't take them all out. But I do, however, like to take out the ones that I can see because I do not like to bite into that gristly thing. So, I mean, to each their own.
What you doing now?
So now I'm just getting a little bit of the excess grease out because if you don't, it'll make your crescent rolls greasy and they tend to not cook good on the inside. Not a big deal for the sausage balls, but obviously you want your crescent rolls to get done. So I just kind of take a paper towel. I do this with my hamburger meat too. And I just kind of get the grease out, and as you can tell, it's pretty greasy. Are you recording?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Longer pan. This one right here. I don't know if that's longer or not. Stop that and start over. Okay, so I have taken my crescent rolls out. I leave those in the refrigerator until I'm ready to use them because if you don't, they start to get tacky and sticky and they don't really want to work too well with you. So, as you can see here, I think when I got it out earlier, got a hole in that one. So I'm going to take half of my cream cheese and I'm going to put it over in this bowl. And I'm going to get my sausage and pour about half of my sausage in here. That should be good. I need to wipe this grease off, otherwise it'll make a mess. Okay. So, let me get a spoon out of the drawer. So I'm just gonna mix this up, make just a little cream cheese and sausage mixture. And I would recommend letting your cream cheese thaw out a little bit. The sausage will obviously make it melt some, but it's easier to work with rather than taking it right out of the fridge and trying to work with it. You just kind of mix it up until your cream cheese pretty much gets melted in and mixed in with the sausage. Now, I might maybe put a little too much cream cheese in here for the half of the sausage. You could probably go like a little bit less than half, but it'll end up working. It'll be fine. Okay, so I've got that pretty much blended up, because what you don't want is, I mean, cream cheese is fine, but what you don't want is to just bite into like a big chunk of cream cheese, which, I mean, it'll end up melting once you get it in the oven anyways. So then you just take your crescent roll and you spoon in about a spoonful of the mixture, and then you take it and just roll it up just like a crescent roll. And you put it, once you get them all rolled up, put them in the oven and you bake them for, like I said, I think it said 9 to 12 minutes is what it says. So these crescent rolls are not really working out for me here today, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, so you just fill them up more or less. You can actually buy the bigger crescent rolls if you prefer. And especially if you're having it like for a meal, then you can just have big crescent rolls filled and use a whole thing of sausage. So we'll show you what these look like here after they are done. Yeah. So even with all the grease that I took 2 paper towels and tried to absorb the grease. As you can see, there's still grease in here. So you can actually, typically, I would probably use a couple more paper towels and get the grease out. But I mean, it's okay. It's not terrible. The grease is kind of separating from the sausage and the cream cheese. So it still works. Okay, so I've got them. I don't know if you can see them on the video, but I have them on my pan. And we're going to go in the oven. And I typically will do half of the time on the bottom, and then I move them up to the top. So I'm going to set my timer for about 4 minutes, and then I'll end up moving them up. And then this still has quite a bit of grease in it, so when I move it into my other pan, I'm going to strain it. Okay, so as you could see in the other part of the video, the sausage that was left in there, this is the grease, not the sausage, but there's still quite a bit of grease left in the pan, even though I used a couple paper towels. So just to keep from everything being greasy, I'm going to use a slotted spoon, and I was going to just like strain the grease out, but that's working pretty good. So just whatever works for you. I would just say that you don't want all that grease. First of all, you don't want to eat all that grease, and second of all, it'll make your food taste better without having all that grease in it. So you can use a slotted spoon to do that. And then I'm going to, I have about half a thing of pimento cheese left, so I'm going to put it in here. There's the pimento cheese. And then some people, wow, that was a quick 4 minutes. Hold on here. Let me get my pot holder out so I can move these up. So this is what we're looking like at the present time. We're going to go up. You have to kind of be careful with the crescent rolls because they will burn, and the same for the sausage. So some people don't particularly like sharp cheddar. Like if I'm eating a sandwich, I don't want sharp cheddar, but to add a little bit of sharp cheddar in with your sausage is really good. And some people will actually take like a hot sausage instead of the mild. Like they'll use half and half, or they'll use one hot and one mild and mix it, and then use the sharp and mild cheddar. But you have to be careful with the hot sausage. It's hot going in and it's hot coming out. Okay, so right now I'm just mixing up my Bisquick mixture with my sausage and my pimento cheese. and my mild cheddar and my sharp cheddar. And you can add however much you want. Some people prefer it more sausagey when it comes to the Bisquick, so they use less Bisquick and more sausage. I'm kind of the other way around. I kind of like it, but looks like today it's going to be kind of like an even mixture. And you can add as much cheese or as little cheese as you want. Some people don't prefer a lot of cheese. They would just prefer to have the biscuit and sausage, but I like the cheese as well, and so I've probably used maybe half, maybe 1 cup of each in here, and then a half a thing of pimento cheese. So that's pretty much, that's all I'm going to use in it, and just mix this up real good. And then I'll spoon it out. Like I said, I don't roll them out in balls. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm not trying to impress anybody. We're just gonna eat it. So whatever makes you happy, that's what I would do. Okay, so now this is pretty much what I do. So it's each to their own. Whatever you prefer to do. I find this a whole lot easier than rolling it out. I think last time I might have used like an ice cream scooper to make it more like a sausage ball, but you know what, we're just gonna eat it, so it really doesn't matter. So it's just whatever. I just try to keep them the same size so they cook evenly, and it doesn't take longer for some than it does others. So we're gonna fill this pan up, and you definitely do not need it to grease your pan or anything, because the grease from the sausage will keep it from sticking. They're looking pretty good. I want to think if we leave them in there much longer that the bottom will burn. So you just kind of have to be careful, because I said that earlier. Yeah. So those are pretty much done. I'm gonna instead of going 450, I'm going to go 400 on my sausage balls. So and there you have it. That is our cream cheese and sausage crescent rolls, also known as dirty diapers. Okay, so we're actually going to do a temp change on these. We're actually going to keep it at 375. I was going to heat it up. Bisquick, it usually takes at 450 for about 8 minutes, but we're going to go 375, let them cook maybe a little longer and slower. Rather than putting them up there. So I'm going to put these in the bottom, and I'm going to time it for about 4 minutes again on these, like I did the crescent rolls, and then just kind of check them. Here's what we have. As you can see, they flattened out, which they typically do, and I think the pimento cheese causes them to do that. If you didn't cook your sausage and mixed your Bisquick and stuff together, I think you would be more apt for them to stand balls. But I tell you what, they taste good either way. So, pretty tasty. And that is what I make. Supposed to be a sausage ball, but it always flattens out more like a biscuit. I think they actually flattened out more this time than normal. But yeah, but of course I cut my recipe in two. So there you go.